against the Phoenix Coyotes for the third and final regular season meeting here tonight. You see the end of a presentation was made before the game. The Hawks, or the Coyotes, I should say, brought several members of the 1980 gold medal winning Olympic team to the desert to acknowledge and honor them. And we'll look at a ceremonial face-off between the captain, Jonathan Toews, and Shane Doan. And the guy wearing the big C there, one of the most famous goal scorers in U.S. history, is Mike Eruzione. And during the, was it the second intermission? The first intermission, he's going to tell Eddie Olczyk how he did that. So we can look forward to that later in the game tonight.
Hard to believe, partner. 34 years ago.
All right, guys, let's hear it one more time.
And amazing how much it still resonates, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
The reception these guys got, they're all introduced individually. The crowd here packed with red, white, and black from Blackhawks fans. In fact, they may even outnumber Phoenix fans in the seats tonight. But a rousing reception from all the people in attendance here tonight for those heroic members of the U.S. Olympic team in 1980.
Yeah, acknowledging all the Olympians on both sides. Blackhawks and Coyotes recognized, and great to see a bunch of those guys that really changed the fortune of USA hockey back in Lake Placid in 1980.
All right, we'll take a look at the Ford goaltending matchup tonight. The 14th appearance in the last 16 games for Corey Crawford. And how about his last 10 decisions? 5-1-4, and just 22 goals against in his last 10 appearances for Corey Crawford. We told you a little bit about Mike Smith a few moments ago, but he comes in here. In his last little while, he's gone 2-3-1 and 18 goals against in those last 6 games. And as we told you, the Hawks have got 9 on him. He's played both the previous meetings. The Hawks have won both games, one in regulation and one in a shootout. Referees are Brian Poxmara with Daniel Rourke, the linesman Mike Civic, and Derek Nansen, and we're underway.
And the first period of Blackhawk hockey is brought to you by Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.
This one is dumped into the Chicago zone. Crawford made a direct pass to Sharp, and out comes Toews. His rink wide was behind Hossa. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And listen to this crowd already. Let's go Hawks is the cheer. Now it bounced to Bodker, who kicks to the stick and chased in on Keith. Toews nearly turned it over, but Keith will chase it down. And it's cleared back into the Phoenix zone. Ben Smith goes in after it. The puck taken away, and Shane Doan hoist backhander to get it out. Both teams looking to complete player changes as Doan gets back for the home team. Yandel looks for Ribeiro. He tipped it up over the glass, and they're indicating a penalty. A penalty on Mike Ribeiro, it looks like, who tipped the puck for the defensive zone over the glass. And they're called, what's the penalty on? I thought it was going to be delay, but it's a trip on Bollig. My bad, sorry.
Well, Bollig came in contact, Pat, on that initial forecheck with Shane Doan. And right behind the Coyote bench, there you see the left leg, a whiplash type of play there by Brandon Bollig. That's a dangerous play. A slew foot is what we call it in the National Hockey League, or at any level of hockey, where you take your arm, brace it up against the body, and then just leg whip that player. That's a dangerous play there, and as Bollig went to the penalty box, Doan did a little bit of a flyby there. So a power play here for the Coyotes.
Yandel one-time reach, scores! Keith Yandel, a blast from the blue line, and 69 seconds into the game, the Coyotes are in front.
7th goal of the year for Keith Yandel. 7 seconds into the power play. Pat, we've talked a lot about it. Face-off, not able to win a face-off while short-handed. The Coyotes get it. And a screen in front of the net by Shane Doan. And the Coyotes with a early 1-0 lead.
Right now, the newest member of the Blackhawks makes his first appearance in a Chicago sweater. Regan is wearing number 12. Peter Regan is out on the ice between Saad and Versteeg. Here's a long shot to save by Smith.
Oh, welcome to the Blackhawks' first chance at a quality A-plus chance on Mike Smith. And Peter Regan acquired along with Pierre-Marc Bouchard from the New York Islanders by general manager Stan Bowman, adding a little depth, a little bit of skill, getting a good opportunity on the second line.
Steal by Bravada, but he couldn't get one on target. Now Regan shifted up the board. Saad gets help from Roosevelt. He's able to move it ahead. It didn't get out, but it winds up out of play as Ribeiro put it up into the seats.
Well, time now, partner, for our Hyundai. What to look for? And we talked a little bit about the Open, but again, worrying about the 60 minutes or longer that you need to get 2 points in this game against the Phoenix Coyotes and manage the puck against a team that is very good defensively. You got to make sure you're putting pucks out at the blue line, in at their blue line, and again, keeping the puck away from Mike Smith offensively because he handles the puck so well.
Here's a long shot kicked away by Crawford. It's loose. He made a second save on Chinchura, who then dropped it back. Here's a chance for the Yotes, and the long one went wide. Now out of the corner, Moss shifted loose. Here's the center. He's got another penalty coming up against the Hawks. A long shot handled by Crawford, who's able to capture. And what a start here for the home team. They'll get another power play, their second, 2.5 minutes into the game.
Oh, what a couple of stops there, as you mentioned, Pat. Pat, there's a discussion going on right now with Brent Seabrook and the official, the referee. I don't know if Bickell's going to get a couple of penalties here. It's only one, and he's playing with a illegal stick, so I'm assuming that it was a broken stick. Now what happened was, Pat, is that Brian Bickell had given his stick to Nick Leddy. And then Brian Bickell went and picked up Nick Leddy's stick. Now look at Bickell. Bickell's there. He's trying to reach for Nick Leddy. Now watch. He goes and he picks up that stick there. That's Nick Leddy's stick. But the question that I have, how does the referee know that the stick is broken?
He didn't go check it. And Mike Kitchen and Joel Quenneville both very exercised behind the Hawks bench, as you could imagine. Because to Eddie's point, the referee just assumed the stick was on the ice because it was broken.
Right.
Well, maybe somebody whacked it out of his hand.
Exactly.
He didn't go check it. Here's a long shot back to Larson. A tip went up high from Doan. Now it's kicked loose on the boards, and here comes Kruger trying to chase it down. Ekman Larson got there first. Now back comes Yandel. Pass well out of everybody's reach. He has to chase it himself. He tried to dig it out. Vermette then got checked. Antoine Vermette has an 8-game scoring streak coming into the action tonight. Here's Ekman Larson. He put it across to Yandel. A long flip shot. Oh, Crawford never saw it. It deflected up high.
Good hit by Seabrook on Doan there. That made the whole play there, Pat. A great play by Brent Seabrook to separate Shane Doan from the puck in behind Corey Crawford. And the Hawks are able to shoot it down all the way.
Now the Coyotes dump it in, a minute remaining on their power play. Yandel dropped it across Ekman Larson. Put it into the middle of the ice. Bravada with strike one. Now it's picked up by Hjalmarsson. He goes up the middle to get it out. And Smith, there's the puck handling ability that Eddie talked to you about, but the puck was bouncing around every which way like a recently landed fish. And the Coyotes couldn't put a fork in it. But pretty active. Here comes Slemko. Slemko keeping it in. Then Stone a long shot. He's got a good shoot. Good shot. And Crawford able to soak that up with no rebound.
Crawford's made a couple of real good stops. That was a difficult one as well. Well, are you or someone you know working with a program or institution that creates a positive impact for our community? Submit a nomination for the CME Group Community Spotlight Fan of the Game. Each Fan of the Game recipient will be awarded 2 Blackhawk tickets and an official Blackhawks replica jersey.
Vermette wins the draw. He's really good at the dot. Here's Stone looking for Bodker. Back to Michael Stone. Look, no lane there. Schlemko, Stone, Bodker. Looks for Schlemko. The pass was tipped. And a good keep by Stone to Bodker. Looking to center. That deflects Schlemko. Had to jump away. Now the Hawks penalty over. Both teams at full strength. And it's cleared out of the Chicago zone. Coyotes dump it right back in. Brookbank able to hoist it the other way. And Smith is out to play it. Jeff Halpern missed on a pass. Brookbank cleared it out. Hawks using the same defense core that they used the other night in Anaheim. With the absence of Patrick Kane, Peter Regan gets into the lineup, and he's working at center. Andrew Shaw has moved to the right side with Handzus and Bickle. So those the lineup changes for Quenneville tonight. Saad has gone into Kane's spot with Regan down the middle of that line and Versteeg on the left side. Here come the Coyotes. Ekman Larson, the D-man, is first up the ice. Brookbank took it away, though. Leddy pushes it up the boards. Morris pinched and tried a shot that went off a leg. And back comes Patrick Sharp. Sharp in on Yandel. And good back pressure there. Tim Kennedy able to stay with Patrick Sharp and strip him. Yandel comes out. It's hacked toward the middle. Picked off there Keith. Made a good pass to side, and the Hawks get away. Versteeg with a chip and chase on Morris, who takes him down in the corner. Wow, play out, they say. Here's Bissonnette for Phoenix. Oh, Bissonnette with a long wrist shot, soaked up by Crawford. No rebound with Klinkhammer in the neighborhood. 6 minutes haven't played in the opening period, and the Coyotes strike on a power play.
Welcome back to Glendale, Arizona. Time now for our BMO Harris Bank check replay. And Kris Versteeg here looked like he was initiating that contact there with Derek Morris, and he takes the worst of it. And then all of a sudden, Morris comes right there and kind of gives him a little bit of the business. And as those two players were skating out of the Phoenix Coyote zone, they were having a few pleasantries as they were exiting the zone between Derek Morris and Kris Versteeg.
Oh, sure, just trying to figure out what one another we're going to do for the break. Here's Handzus. He works against Schlemko in the corner. Michael Handzus had it taken away, and Ribeiro goes across the Stone, and the Coyotes get out. Doan hoisting it. It bounces near Crawford, who whacked it over to the boards. Going to be held in by Ribeiro. Here's a long shot up off the glass. Ribeiro trying to keep it in. Got help from Yandel. Long shot in and out of the glove of Crawford. And now taken back by Yandel. His touch pass went out of the zone. Derek Morris scooping it into Chicago ice. Roosevelt back. This defense pairing, Roosevelt and Hjalmarsson, were the ice time leaders for the Hawks the other night in Anaheim. And I mention that only because it's very rare that Duncan Keith is in the Hawks ice time leader. Here's Sharp trying to jam it loose. It winds up back in the neutral zone with Keith. Duncan Keith on this road trip has had 2 assists, has been a +2 in the first 5 games. One of the Coyotes, McCulloch. Put it back out to center. Bodker going to rink wide. Warpikoski with a wrist shot up off the glass. Seabrook, I think he wanted to be very careful and not redirect that on his own net, so he just let it go all the way through.
That was one of those where they both watched it.
Yeah.
I think it was off the net. Don't worry, they're paid professionals.
Now Keith. It's cleared around the boards, and Coyotes reorganize. Moss chipped it deep, chasing in on Brookbank. Now David Moss threw it in behind Peter Regan, native of Denmark, is 27 years of age. Tried to work a give and go. The second pass missed him. And now the Coyotes. Yandel will move it to Morris. They get it, and that was offside. Klinkhammer was in before the puck, so the whistle goes.
I want to give a quick shout out to my great partner, the great Pat Foley, yesterday in his round of golf. Another hole-in-one for the great Pat Foley yesterday at Moon Valley, I'm sorry. Congratulations, partner. Third one of your illustrious career. 4? Right there, look at, we're all set. Way to go, DT. Way to go, buddy.
Well, sometimes the hole just gets in the way. But, yeah, thanks. It was pretty cool. Actually was out there with a number of alumni folks, which we'll talk a little bit about later, and really had a wonderful day all around. Unfortunately, that was on the second hole, and pretty well went downhill from there.
Bet I got a quick birthday shout out to my daughter Alexandra.
All right.
Her 19th birthday today, so happy birthday to Alexandra. Roll Tide.
Everything
Every
is
time
good down there in Tideville.
Got to acknowledge that every time.
Klinkhammer. Checked by Brookbank. Leddy couldn't advance, and now a loose puck in front. Brookbank hacked it over to Shaw. He was able to push it to center. Bickle works his way into the offensive zone. Look at that. He was encircled by 4 red sweaters for the Yotes.
That's a good play by Bickle. Won the battle along the boards right by the Coyote bench, and he got the puck in deep. I thought Brian Bickle had a good game the other night, Pat, in Anaheim. I thought he had a real strong game up and down the ice. And gaining a little confidence since maybe that goal in L.A. earlier in the week on Monday.
And, yeah, you're right. I mean, it certainly was fairly effective, but again, one of those nights where he didn't get to 10 minutes of ice time. So no, he wants to have that change when the break expires. Morris sends it in deep. Ribeiro had it taken away. Rosabal, he's able to get it to side. Brandon Saad trying to work to the middle. Help there. Now here's a quick shot by Kruger with the flex. Out of play. We're halfway through the opening frame here tonight. The Coyotes have a 1-0 lead. Welcome back, and we remind you as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in the game tonight. It'll be brought to you by Miller Lite. Joel Quenneville's team now with the most road points of any NHL squad. They're 17-6-7 on the road. That's 41 points away from home. More than anybody else in the league. The Coyotes have the 13th best home record in the NHL. Taves and Vermette here. They are numbers 3 and 4 in face-off victories so far this season. And Vermette able to pull that one back. Now Vermette unable to advance it. Here's Seabrook. His long flip shot deflecting out of play.
Well, time now for our Geico quote, and I'm sure Patrick Kane is watching back home in Buffalo, and of course, all Blackhawk fans know that Patrick Kane lost his grandfather earlier this week, and our Geico quote, one of the most well-respected men that I ever met. My parents and even my dad's brothers and sisters say it. I kept him alive for years just by playing hockey because he loved watching my games. And certainly we're thinking about Kaner and his entire family, and best of luck as you head over to Sochi.
Crawford, good save here. While being jostled, there was traffic right in the blue paint. Actually, a couple of bodies in behind Crawford, but he's able to hold his ground and make the save with no rebound.
That was Kyle Chipchura. Standing right in front of the net, and there's Corey Crawford absorbing it. Good position out on top of the blue paint. Watch Chipchura here, Pat. He tries to wave at that puck and get a piece of it. And a good thing that he did it, because he was there all by himself. And you see the numbers for Corey Crawford in his last 5. He's been solid, Pat. I mean, he has been really good these last. Well, in California, he was sensational in those 3 games.
Those are 3 pretty good clubs he was sensational against, too. Halpern in behind the Moss. David Moss going to move in front. His backhand shot is blocked out in front of the net, and back comes Kruger looking for Saad. And after Brandon Bollig took that bad penalty that led to the only goal of the game, he has not been on the ice since. And here's Yandel for Phoenix. Clearing it up the board. Sharp missed it. And now Smith battling hard. Got help from Kruger to Smith. He drives. Looking to center. The pass deflected up over top of the Sharp. And back come the Coyotes. Into the zone. Here's Korpikoski centering. Attempt deflecting. Crawford bats it into the corner. McCulloch there. Put it in behind the net. Centering attempt. Picked off Sharp. Looking to counterattack quickly. Patrick Sharp looking to the middle, and Hossa went offside. If I could just add to your point on Patrick Kane, Eddie, I mean, we are every Blackhawk fan, every hockey fan who appreciates great skill, be wishing him well for Team USA. If he has a performance in the Olympics that is even close to what he did the other night in LA right after he found out he lost his best friend. I mean, that was special to watch.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a very painful night for him, but I think when he looks back over it, at it over time, it'll probably be a really nice memory for him.
Pat, you know, I preach this anytime I get an opportunity, but the true colors of someone or something aren't when things are great, but when things are tough. And I think Kaner certainly has showed that all year, but especially, as you said it, the other night of knowing and going out there and paying the greatest tribute to his grandfather. And again, we wish Kaner all the best, and I look forward to seeing him over in Sochi and pulling for the red, white, and blue for sure. And I'm sure Kaner is going to be playing as well as he's played over the course of this season over there.
Here's Shaw. On his second attempt, got it to the net. And back comes Verbata. Dean Verbata crisscrossing, and a good back check by Taves. Knocked it loose. Chalmerson to Taves. He banks it ahead. There's Shaw. Looking to Bickle. He got checked. Shaw carried on. Andrew Shaw rolled it around the board. Schlemko on it for the Coyotes. And that was knocked down with a high stick. The Coyotes, if they touch it, the whistle's going to go. That's why they're just standing there until the Hawks now play it. Now Morris. Pass deflecting to Versteeg. Boy, Saad was breaking. He wanted the puck. Versteeg didn't see him right away. Now Saad with it. He got checked. The loose puck chased down by Bissonnette. Brookbank able to catch him. Now Klinkhammer working the corner. Dug out of there Versteeg. Cleared it to center. Smith out to play it. Right to Bissonnette. And Rob Klinkhammer dropped it to Keith Yandel. He's pressured. Turned it over. Versteeg now with a shot. Good save by Smith. His best of the first 14 minutes.
Versteeg got a lot on that wrist shot. Boy, he got a lot on it. And Mike Smith plays very deep in his net there. Very reactionary, athletic goaltender. That was a good stop.
Here's a chance at the other end. Moss is redirected wide. Brookbank put it up the boards. Taves. Now able to pry it loose. Here come the Hawks. Jonathan Taves on this road trip, 2 goals and 4 assists. Got taken down in the Phoenix zone there and Stone the other way.
There by Schlemko one-on-one on Taves.
Halpern against Seabrook. Cleared up the board, Smith. Rolling it out. Now McCulloch. Left it for Ekman Larson. That's going to be an offside play with 5 minutes remaining in the opening period. A power play goal by Keith Yandel, the only one of the game till now.
Time now for our Kia drive to the net. Talked about the real good play there from Chris Versteeg. Stayed with the puck. Little stick handle, skate left, shoot right. Fortunately, right into the midsection of Mike Smith.
By the way, Roosevelt, who had 24 minutes in Anaheim, he and Hjalmarsson were both right at about that number. So Michael Roosevelt tonight is playing in his 4th straight game. That's only happened for him once before the entire season, where he's in the lineup for as many as 4 games in a row.
It's been that rotation.
Yeah.
Michael Koska, Sheldon Brookbank, and now with a couple of guys not in the lineup. Johnny Oduya there, so it opens up another opportunity for guys to get in there, and you got to step up, right? Because you lose Johnny Oduya, who's had a terrific season for Coach Q, and paired up with Nicholas Hjalmarsson. But those minutes got to go somewhere, and the veteran Michael Roosevelt, former Phoenix Coyote defenseman for a period of time, got those minutes and that responsibility.
Really played quite well in that shutout win in Anaheim, and was credited with 4 hits and 4 shot blocks in that game. Those are big numbers for a D-man in any one outing. Here's Regan. He got checked on the boards. Halpern clearing it. Regan dumped it. And now the Coyotes start back. Yandel forced to turn by Saad. Then Morris moved it to center ice. Chip Chura's pass way in front of Vermette. No icing somehow, and we play on as Leddy made a bad pass, but following up is Brookbank.
Coyotes without Martin Hansel.
Yeah, he's ill and unable to go tonight. By the way, talking to Johnny Oduya today momentarily, that really sounded like his lower body situation is not going to be something that's going to carry on for a long period of time. He's planning on going to Sochi, and certainly hopeful that he'll be able to participate for Team Sweden.
They should have a pretty strong tournament.
They really, I mean, is there a better core of defense in that tournament?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you've looked very closely at all the rosters. I haven't been that in-depth on it, but that's
hard to argue.
Yeah.
And when you think about Jonas Brodin of the Minnesota Wild, isn't even on that defensive core, Pat.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, we're going to have a very special guest in the first intermission. Micah Ruzioni, the captain of the Miracle on Ice team, is going to join us for an interview. Well, tickets are on sale for Madhouse at the Museum, the official Blackhawks tailgate party before the Stadium Series game at Soldier Field on March the 1st. Tailgate at Field Museum's North Terrace will include food and beverage, along with entertainment. Visit Ticketmaster.com to purchase tickets.
A turnover to Hjalmarsson, who lets it go. Smith able to soak it up as the Hawk Smith got right in front of Mike Smith and tried to provide a screen there, and good save with no rebound.
I talked about Mike Smith, Pat. He plays very deep in his net. I mean, more times than not, he's always in the blue paint. So depending on where you are, as far as shooting on a guy like Mike Smith, so somebody's got to get their body position right in front to not allow him to see those type of shots. And again, a reactionary type of goaltender plays very deep in his net.
A wide open Hjalmarsson, a long shot, hit the skate of Smith, of Shaw, I should say. Now the Yotes able to clear it out of there.
Shaw did a good job there getting to the front of the net. That was a difficult stop for Mike Smith.
Hjalmarsson ringing it around. Mikkel unable to pick it up cleanly. Handzus pushed it out of there. And Shaw sends it in. Hawks looking to change on the go. A keep by Saad to Bickle, looking to give it back to him. That pass broken up Yandel, and now the Coyotes look to counterattack, but Bodker had to just dump it in. Brookbank back. Here comes Saad. Brandon Saad going wide. Got away from Ekman Larsson. Right to the goal. Big play by Smith. Brandon Saad, 2 goals, 2 assists on the trip. And he surprised a pretty good D-man right there.
Yeah, a little bit of change of speed. Looked like he was going to the inside, and he pulls right to the backhand, brings his puck right in. Ekman Larsson did a good job there, Pat, of not allowing Brandon Saad to get this puck back to his forehand. Got stick on stick, kept him to the outside, and a terrific move and a good stop there from Mike Smith. But the change of speed by Saad created that chance.
Keith pinching here, and Ekman Larsson has to go the other way. McCulloch move that had missing Vermette with a minute and a half to go in the opening period. Save checked by Vermette, and now it's jammed back into Phoenix ice. Ekman Larsson will clear it back into Chicago territory.
A little bit of a different look with that line there with Sharp and Saad and Taves there. Marin Hossa looked like he was getting some equipment repairs. He just came from the runway and is back on the bench.
Versteeg checked by Verbata. Final minute of the opening period. And Shane Doan got help to chip it in. Moss is checked. It's picked up by Chalmerson. Just flipped it back into Phoenix ice. Schlemko on it. Around for Verbata. And Doan dumped it. Roosevelt will get back. Igor Roosevelt. We'll look for somewhere to go. Make a pass across. Here's Regan, and his first game as a Hawk. His shot blocked with 10 left. Regan gets it back. Peter Regan rolled into the corner, and now it's taken by Duncan Keith to the middle. He lets it go. Good save by Smith. I think that just hit him. As the period comes to an end, there was a good screen in front of Mike Smith. He was able to keep the right pad in the proper spot.
Oh, you love the recognition of Duncan Keith there to be able to get this puck, know how much time. It's the right skate or the right pad of Mike Smith. He can't see that. Got a screen in front of the net. McCulloch is there trying to play like a goaltender. Goes right by him. That's a terrific stop from Mike Smith. Great recognition there by Duncan Keith.
Coyotes outshoot the Hawks 10-7 in the first. Stay with us in the first intermission. A couple of U.S. Olympians. Olczyk and Eruzione when we come back.
Well, Blackhawk fans, remember to bring your Blue Cross and Blue Shield card to all Blackhawk home games for a chance to be a part of the Blue Cross Upgrade Experience. Carry the card that gives you benefits wherever you are. Blue Cross, through it all.
Welcome back inside the Jobbing.com arena. I want to take a second before we get the second period underway to talk a little bit about the Chicago Blackhawks Alumni Association that does a lot of charitable work in the Chicago area. But its mission, its soul, is the drive to provide college scholarships to the most deserving high school hockey players in the state of Illinois. Not necessarily the best players, but the most deserving. These are kids who get good grades. They're kids who are hugely involved in their community. They do lots of extracurriculars. People who make their community better. This is a wonderful program. It's the first annual, this week, the first annual alumni scholarship trip. And included in this group that traveled out here to watch the Hawks play, the first ever scholarship recipient, Tommy Dillon. The first ever female recipient, Michelle Radzic. Joe Moore, Travis Tingey, Bobby Lang, Andrew Bramnick, Larry Coons, Patrick McAuliffe, all have come here to commiserate, along with President Cliff Coral, Reggie Curran, Grant Mulvey from the board of the alumni are here. Troy Murray and I got to go out with the group yesterday. To see these young folks develop into productive, positive members of the community has really been uplifting. They're all gainfully employed. Some of them have kids running around. This is a program that is second to none. And the Blackhawks and the alumni are very proud of the scholarship program. I have a very fun way, if you would like to participate and help that program. The alumni are holding a Skate with the Greats Day during the Olympic break. Sunday, February 23rd at the Bobby Hull Community Rink in Cicero from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Bobby Hull's going to be there. Andrew Shaw and another teammate are going to be there. Cliff Coral, Phil Russell, Murray Bannerman are going to be there. Brian Noonan's going. There will be skating. There will be autographs available. And you can see on the screen how to get more information. And that's a long... I couldn't read all that off at the bottom. That's how you get more information and how to participate. What should be a really fun and enjoyable day to go for a little skate with the greats and pick up some autographs and whatnot if you'd like. So
that's it. Go out for a great cause and enjoy the day. And in the second period of Blackhawk hockey, brought to you by Chevy and ChevyDrivesChicago.com.
Lori Korpikoski cleared it to Bodker, who chipped it in. Keith back, pursued by Korpikoski. Sharp moved it ahead. Hossa kicks to the stick. Seabrook following up. And the Hawks send it deep. Seabrook against Ekman Larson here. And now Hossa jammed it away. Vermette able to clear the zone. And the Coyotes dump it in. Now a loose puck just out of the reach of Kruger. Smith trying to pry it out of the corner, and now the Coyotes get it back. We also, in addition to the folks watching us in Chicago, all of you tuned into the game on the Comcast Network, glad to have you with us. Mike Ribeiro put it into the corner. Now Jalmerson cleared it to center. That picked off. Ribeiro back in. And Rosabal ran it through his legs to Kruger.
Bola got there, Pat.
Yeah, first shift since he took a penalty on his first hit of the game. And Brandon Bolig trying to flip it in, didn't get very far. It's taken by the Coyotes. McCulloch. This pass missed everybody. Down all the way it goes, icing the result.
Learn your risk for heart disease at iHeartAdvocate.com. If you are a high risk, an Advocate cardiologist will see you within 24 hours. Really enjoyed that opportunity, Pat, to visit with Michael Ruzioni, the captain of the Miracle on Ice team in that first intermission. And that team really did open up the door, along with, I like to say, now Chicago native Jack O'Callahan, former Blackhawk and member of that team, that Miracle on Ice team. They really opened up the door for American-born players to get the recognition.
Oh, what a save by Crawford as the puck found Chipchura, and he drilled it quickly. Looked like it hit Crawford up high in the left shoulder. That's a big stop for the Coyotes, getting a real fortunate bounce, but Crawford able to make an important save. The pass here missing. Saad going all the way down, icing Chicago.
Kyle Chipchura's had a couple of good looks in this game here. And there's the opportunity. The puck below the goal line, and Corey Crawford actually passed that puck, or chipped that puck up to Chipchura. And the quick release and a real good stop after a slow developing play below the goal line.
They fight in the corner, and Brookbank around for Leddy. Nick Leddy's had a goal and 3 points on this road trip, and a +1 coming into tonight. Versteeg takes a look. He missed Leddy with a pass, though. Well, the Hawks get it back inside across the Bickle. He shoots. Oh, Smith got a tiny piece with his glove, it looked like. Brian Bickle coming on a change, and Saad gave a perfect feed.
Nice pass and real good quick release there from Bickle.
Here's Brookbank going to try. That one deflects up off the netting, out of play.
Well, that was a good stop there from Mike Smith. Hawks in the middle of a change. Brandon Saad pulls up, makes a real good pass there, and Brian Bickle puts a lot into that heavy shot. As you mentioned, Pat Smith just barely gets a piece of it.
Now Shaw pulled the draw back, but Roosevelt checked, and it came free to Bickle. He tries again. Oh, good block out front, Stone. Now dug out by Bickle. He tried to stop it home, and Smith said no, it's loose. And the Coyotes can't get it out. Penalty Phoenix coming up. And as they ruled to have gotten the puck, the whistle goes. And the Hawks are going to get their first power play of the game, and Jeff Halper is going to beat the official to the penalty box.
What a shift there for Brian Bickle, Pat. Puck was finding him in the offensive zone. He took the puck below the goal line, created the opportunity. And then the mad scramble will happen in front of the net. I believe it was Michael Handzus that got knocked down by Jeff Halper, and as you mentioned, the Hawks will get an opportunity, a much-needed power play. But that's a good power move there from Brian Bickle.
Blackhawks on this road trip just 1 out of 15 on the power play. Looking for a little momentum here early in the second period, down a goal, if not at least a tire. Smith able to fight off Sharp's wrister. And Keith takes over at center. Peter Regan on the power play, dropped it to Patrick Sharp. Now Keith looking for a play to make, trying to set it, that pass deflecting. Warpakowski was checked, but the Coyotes finally get it out. Now Taves towards Sharp, touched it back towards the captain. Sharp now for Taves. He moves toward the net. Dropped it to Sharp, who unloads. Smith, good save, rebound to Taves. Checked by Verbata. He jammed it loose, and Radim Verbata able to get it all the way down. .45 for the Hawks power play. Hossa gets in, tried to set it for Stieg to the goal, and the puck jumped on him. He couldn't get rid of it. Christopher Stieg's not at a goal in 9 straight. Here's a long shot by Seabrook, kicked away Smith, and they're able to clear.
Hawks got to start getting some people in front of Mike Smith. Because right now he is in a zone. Got to give him something to think about.
Now Seabrook has to click with Saad. And that's going to finish the Chicago man advantage. As Leddy comes away, both teams are at full strength. Stone will leave for Schlemko. Here's Stone leaving for Schlemko again. He will leave it into Chicago ice. Roosevelt right there. Nicely eluding Shane Doan, his former teammate, and Hawks dump it in. Smith wants to play it. Oh, and there comes Kruger. Good recovery by Mike Smith. And a good play by Kruger to keep coming. Hawks are well aware of Smith's great puck handling ability that Eddie told you about right at the start tonight.
Yeah, that's the understanding, is that the goaltender's not afraid to go ahead and airmail this puck up. Try to catch you maybe in a change, especially in the second period, Pat. The long change, your defensive zone is the farthest away from your bench. But the understanding is that Mike Smith's not afraid to go ahead and shoot that puck down about 100 feet right on somebody's tape. Good job, as you mentioned, by Marcus Kruger and Brandon Bollig to get in the way there and not allow Smith to play that puck.
Taves beats Vermette. It bounced up the boards to Taves. Ekman Larson takes it off his stick, though. And McCulloch fires along with it. Crawford blocks to the corner.
No stick for Crawford
Here's
right
Keith.
now.
Yeah, that stick behind the net is Corey Crawford. Bodker left it for Met, dropped it. McCulloch. And Hossa with a good lift of the stick, and here comes Sharp the other way. Patrick Sharp trying to go rink wide, put it between his line mates. Hossa kept it in. Nice move, but couldn't get rid of it as he was checked trying to shoot. Held in Keith across to Seabrook. He's going to walk and wire, and he fired it wide. Rebound back to Seabrook. Now a touch pass. Hossa, quick shot. Smith able to fight it off through a Taves screen. As Taves must have been listening to Olczyk. He got right into the kitchen of Mike Smith.
He was right in the blue paint.
Now Seabrook cleared it to Handzus, then Shaw. Andrew Shaw's wrister is captured by Mike Smith with no rebound. 7.5 gone in the second. Phoenix with the lead.
Welcome back to Glendale, Arizona. Time now for our GMC professional grade save. And Marian Hossa with a good quality chance. And as my great partner pointed out, look at Jonathan Taves right in the blue paint, giving Mike Smith something to think about. And there's nothing wrong with that. When a goaltender's in a zone, you got to get there. And that's exactly where the captain was on Mike Smith. And had a couple of good stops there. And one chance, Pat, you made mention, Brent Seabrook just missed to the far post. Seabrook's had a couple of good looks from the same area of the ice.
Hawks get it out to the middle, but Shaw's pass was eventually picked off for Bada. Good stand-up play by Roosevelt at center. And now they try to go to a guy without a stick, Stone. He got near the bench, now gets a cue finally. Chalmers's long one is handled by Smith, who had thoughts of playing it, but everything a little discombobulated. As one of his defense didn't have the cue.
That's what you call a wardrobe malfunction. Well, what would you say to your favorite Blackhawk Olympian? Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com to watch fans get a huge surprise from Patrick Sharp in the Illinois Lottery. Be sure to play 20 years of CAT, the new instant game from the Illinois Lottery. You can win cash now for the next 20 years. Sounds good. Anything's possible.
All right, Yandel now for Phoenix. Fires a pass ahead. It jumped away from Rivero. Back comes Regan. Peter Regan looking to center side. Couldn't advance, and now with a wraparound. He didn't get all the way around the post. It's loose. Back to Roosevelt. Looking back to Versteeg, who took his eye off the pass. Now Versteeg gets it again, chipped it back to Roosevelt, but it was bouncing every which way on him. Chris Versteeg still stuck on 99 career goals. That one is turned over. Back comes Bodker. His shot blocked nicely by Chalmerson. Roosevelt moved it out to Versteeg. 9 straight games without a goal for the Hawks, 23. Here's Ekman Larson. And Keith touched it to Hossa. Now Sharp into the zone. Hossa chasing in behind. It's jammed up the boards to Seabrook. And then Bodker for Phoenix. He's playing his 17th game against the Blackhawks. Mikkel Bodker, he's never scored a goal against Chicago in his NHL time. Marian Hossa has 9 tallies his last 13 games. He put it on the stick of Seabrook with a long wrister. Blockered away Smith.
Yeah, regular season for Bodker. Not much success, but as we remember, Pat, playoffs, right? Little different story.
Brookbank has to scurry across and clear it. Keith to Shaw with a dump in. Well, Handzus rings it around. Brookbank kept it in. Tipped it deep. Shaw hit hard by Stone. And then the Coyotes, on their second attempt, have Yandle getting it out of the zone. Keith Yandle trying to dance on Brookbank, didn't get all the way clear of him. Klinkhammer put it in behind the net. There's Moss. Now it came in front. Klinkhammer blocked. The skidding block by Hans, and a good one. That was in a dangerous area.
Good hit by Bickle after the play on McCulloch, and you're right, Pat. That one stung Michael Hanses, but he sold out there and stopped Klinkhammer.
Radim Vrbata put it into the zone. Doan's pass picked off. Slemko kept it in. Hjalmarsson finds Bolig. His long wrister is handled by Smith, and again he had thoughts of playing it, but this fourth line in particular, when Smith gets it, they just keep coming. They want to keep him from handling the puck and making good passes. We have 9 minutes to go in the second. Still 1-0 Yotes.
Well, tonight, you get the week's hottest high school hoops with high school lights. Go inside the season with coach and player interviews. See all the action from around Chicagoland. High school lights tonight, 11:30. Comcast Sportsnet. They must be hashtagging there, the fans we just saw there, partner.
On their blueberries?
Yeah, that's it.
A corner battle finds Hossa coming out with it, looking toward Taves. It jumped off his blade. Hossa carrying on. Knocked away, and now a lead pass. Picked up Bodker. He might get to the net. Bodker to the forehand. Good save by Crawford with the right pad. Puck came back out in front. Keith able to battle for it. Then Korpikoski could not get away from Seabrook. Backhands it out of the Chicago end. Here's Ekman Larsson. And it's dumped back into Chicago ice. Rosabal put it up the boards. And Yandle goes across. Here's Stone who can really bring it. Michael Stone's got a heck of a shot. And Corey Crawford with a good glove there.
Well, time now for our captain, Morgan Robocam. The chance for Michael Bottger being defended by Duncan Keith. Never allowed him to get two hands on the stick, so good recovery there from Duncan Keith. And you talked about Michael Stone really bringing it, Pat. This is a good stop from Corey Crawford. Right before that, Pat, I was watching behind the play. Jeff Halpert took a run at Ben Smith. Smith was in a really tough spot there. And I don't think Smith got shaken up, but certainly...
tough to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. A couple of guys who certainly see eye to eye in that situation there.
Here's Smith with a wrist shot, and a good glove from Mike Smith. Grabbing Ben Smith, who let go a good snapper.
Pat, a couple birthday shout-outs here, Pat. Megan Thompson of Streamwood, Illinois, her 21st birthday, so happy birthday to Megan. And Coach Mike Tompkins, 50 years old. Oh, Maron, 50. Coach T. We wish our buddy Denny Savard a belated happy birthday, right? 65 the other day, so way to go, Sav. He must have not heard us because we got no response from when we said he was 65 the other night. 52. 52.
I'd have been taking a nap after his Vegas trip. Regan ringing it around. There's Keith. Ahead for Peter Regan. He got knocked right off the play at center. Saad looks to get it to Seabrook. Then Keith fires a long shot off a leg. Saad is in behind. Looking to center. Chipchura the other way. Yandle will send it in as Phoenix needs a change.
Now, the one thing that's been real impressive with the Coyotes here tonight is they've had really good sticks. I mean, they've lifted up sticks when the Hawks looked like they might get an opportunity. They've been really good defensively. Almost too many men on the ice for the Blackhawks there, and this is going to be icing against the Coyotes, but they've been really good away from the puck and having good stick position.
Well, the Hawks with the 17 shots so far tonight. They've had 10 here in the second period, which has 6.5 to go. Ribeiro and Taves getting ready here. Ribeiro not very happy about something or other, and now he lost the draw. Here's a long shot off a leg. And Sharp had to throw it in front, but nobody home for the Hawks. Chalmers' long shot. Tip good. Save and a redirect. Taves got a tip. Mike Smith beat him. Now it's loose in the air to Sharp, and Smith made a point-blank save as it's cleared the other way. And Crawford wasn't sure what to do with that. Now he did finally turn it over. It's Schlemko with a long blast. Crawford able to block her to side. He came well outside the paint to make that save. Then Vermette put it across. McCulloch a shot, a redirect, good save, and a tip shot by Crawford. And then Sharp without a stick, which is broken, able to glove it out of the zone.
Yeah, Sharpie got in the way of that McCulloch shot. Good job there. And what a chance again from one of the defensemen for the Coyotes in this period.
Shaw with a wrister. It's off a leg. Bickle. That squeeze to the boards. Now the Coyotes, McCulloch moved it out to Bodker in against Keith. Mikhail Bodker lowering his shoulder, will not get to the goal. He and Keith both hit the deck. And Duncan Keith came out with a puck. Keith looks to Shaw. 5 minutes remaining in period 2. Now Tim Kennedy rolled it out. It's going to be offside of the Chicago line. And again, 5 minutes to go in the second period. The only goal of the game came 69 seconds in. The Hawks still have not been able to solve Mike Smith yet.
Well, February the 10th, join us for the 26th annual Comcast Sportsnet Sports Awards. Don't miss this charity dinner benefiting the March of Dimes and honoring Chicago sports legends and star players. For tickets and more info, visit csnchicago.com or call 312-596-4721. The 26th annual Comcast Sportsnet Sports Awards, Monday, February 10th at the Hilton, Chicago.
It's loose to Kruger, but he whiffed on a wrister attempt. Klinkhammer the other way. Crawford will take a defensive zone draw. Corey Crawford, as Eddie's told you a couple of times, really in the midst of a nice run. In the last 10 games before tonight, he had only given up 22 goals, and only one of those games ended with a regulation loss. And this is 42nd appearance of the year. In the first 41 games, there have been 25 of them where he's given up 2 goals or less. And only 7, well really only 8 in 5.5 games on this road trip.
He's had some stellar moments in this road trip, Pat. I mean, he's really, since coming back from injury, I go back to that first game he played against the Islanders, I believe it was, Pat, when he came in. He played great that game.
Yes.
Even though the Hawks lost, Corey Crawford gave him a chance to get a point in that game. Kyle Oposo with the game-winning goal in that game right after New Year's. The Hawks will eventually have 2 weeks off, the players that are not heading over to Sochi to play in the Olympics. So the Blackhawks will not have any team activities for 2 weeks. Of course, there's a mandate by the National Hockey League when it comes to players that aren't going. But some time off coming for the boys and the coaching staff, and also that one hit Kruger, and also for the training staff for the next couple of weeks.
Well, this pace has been frenetic. I mean, there's the same kind of pace. that everybody dealt with last year with the shortened season. Here's a chance for Barrow. That went off a leg to Doan. He tried to center. That missed everybody and goes out.
And I'll finish that thought for you, partner, because we talked about this. 48 games last year, 82 this year.
And really, it's just, I do think it sounds like this will be the last time that the NHL participates in the Olympics, and I really hope that that's the case. I don't think it's really fair to ask these athletes to
logistically
do this. Chip Chura tried to feed Moss. His stick was checked. Ekman Larsson a wrister, and Crawford had a good look at that.
Good stick there from Brandon Saad. You talk about the Olympics, Pat, and it's right around the corner logistically of the... I think there's 11 games tomorrow night. So you're going to have a lot of those players that are going to be traveling after the game tomorrow, getting to wherever they're flying out of on Sunday, and then the tournament will start on Wednesday. It's going to take you a day to get over to Sochi. They have really one practice for some teams because some teams don't start till Thursday, but the time change, 9-hour time change from the East Coast, 10 from Chicago over to Sochi. So a lot of things that you got to take into consideration when these players jumping on the ice and practicing one time or two times and get ready to drop the puck.
Well, and look at, you understand these great athletes and their desire to represent their country. I mean, it's meaningful, it's great. Don't do it in the middle of the hockey season. Reinstate the Canada Cup or the World Cup or whatever you want to call it. Play it. Well, play it in August before the season starts. There you go. But this deal to interrupt the season, I don't get. All right, here come the Hawks. Sharp for the drive. And hit traffic out in front of the net. Bodker checked, but it's knocked away from Keith. Now the race is on. And Korpikoski had his pass picked off by Bickle. Back come the Blackhawks. Shaw, Assad trying to drive the net, and he ran right into Mike Smith. That's going to be a penalty. Brandon Saad just drove right to the Phoenix goal. The Coyotes rightfully not happy with that. And Mike Smith down inside his goal.
Well, a terrific outlet pass from Duncan Keith. And then Brandon Saad goes hard to the net. You got to know where you are on the ice. You got to start putting on the brakes. And Mike Smith went flying here, Pat. Watch his mask go flying after the contact. And there you see Brandon Saad try at the last second. Watch his arm here, Pat. He realizes he's getting in tight. He's trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid there. And I think you see perfectly on that look. At the last second, Brandon Saad realizes he's going to be making some contact with Mike Smith. Watch the reaction here of Brandon Saad. He realizes he's in the blue paint. Now he's trying to put on the brakes. Unfortunately, I think he caught him with his hip, and you see the mask of Mike Smith get taken off.
And by the way, Eddie, while that was after that happened, Michael Roosevelt got yappy about it. He's been tagged with unsportsmanlike conduct. This is a two-man advantage for the Phoenix Coyotes.
Oh, that penalty can't happen.
The second one.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for all you young hockey players out there, the referee gives you a penalty, just go right to the box. Let your coach talk to the referee or official. You're not going to win that battle, and now you put your team down 2 men.
So Kruger, Hjalmarsson, Seabrook will be out there against the Phoenix power play that is 1 for 2 so far tonight. And a huge situation here late in period 2. Vermette wins another draw. Here's Yandel. Yandel with a long blast. Crawford, good save through a screen. Rebound back to Verbata. Vadim Verbata left and Doan shot it. Good right pad from Crawford there. Now Kruger able to battle it loose. Back to center ice. Now Yandel right back into the zone. They'll get Vermette to the front of the net and get everything else set up. Now it's in front of Vrbata. He shoots, he scores! Radim Vrbata. Corey Crawford thought he was interfered with, probably by Vermette. And that plea will fall on deaf ears from Dan O'Rourke. And the Coyotes have a 2-goal lead.
Nice pass there from Mike Ribeiro. And there you see the stick. It hits Corey Crawford right in the head there, Pat, right before the shot comes from Radim Vrbata. Watch 50 in red. He gets knocked down by Nicholas Hjalmarsson. That's why the stick came out of control. And I don't think there's any doubt that that broke the confidence or the concentration of Corey Crawford there. And I think maybe that's what the referee had told Corey Crawford. They said, hey, Hjalmarsson's the guy. Now Joe Quenneville's absolutely irate. But again, I don't know if the official, if that's what his interpretation was there, Pat, with Hjalmarsson pitchforking the back of the leg of Antoine Vermette and then causing the disruption in Corey Crawford. That's the only thing that I could see the explanation would have gone. But again, Pat, you can't be 5-on-3 in that situation. Roosevelt takes the bad penalty. If he doesn't, it's 5-on-4. You like your chances. You take the selfish penalty, it's 5-on-3. The puck ends up in the back of your net.
Here's a turnover as Roosevelt whipped on a clearing attempt. Ribeiro. Now it's dropped back to Yandel. Yandel to Vrbata with a shot. Put off by Crawford. Now Yandel kept it in final minute of period 2. One-man advantage Phoenix. Vrbata with a shot, and Crawford had a good look there.
Caught on that shot, Pat, by Radim Vrbata. Thought he was going to shoot the puck right away, but he held on to it a second longer, and the puck found its way between the legs of Corey Crawford.
Got himself within maybe 20 feet of the net.
Yeah, right.
Pretty well point blank.
He held on to it. I thought he was going to one-time it, shoot it off the pass, but he held on to it, waited, took the ice that was given, and with the screen in front of the net and the commotion around Corey Crawford, power play goal.
Bodker. Now it's shot across. Here's a long shot. Ekman Larsson. Good save by Crawford. Rebound back for Yandel. Now they get Doan to the front of the net. Here's Yandel with a long shot. Glove save Crawford with 22-2 left. And just 9 remaining on the second Chicago penalty.
Big face-off here.
No, Taves and Vermette, 2 of the best in the league at this skill. And Taves able to pull it back. Hjalmarsson looks to Taves, made a good pass to Hossa.
We're even at 2.
Now the second Hawks penalty over, both teams full strength. Jumped away from Hossa, and that's going to finish the second period. 15 shots for Phoenix in the second period, 14 for Chicago. Coyotes have 25 up till now. The Blackhawks have 21 up till now. And Mike Smith has been perfect so far tonight against the league's leading offense. You can see Joel Quenneville's displeasure with the officiating. All right, welcome back to the desert. The Phoenix Coyotes will take a 2-goal lead into period 3. We had a chance to talk to assistant coach Jamie Compound before that happens. I got to believe one of the things you've talked about in the intermission was trying to stay out of the box, Jamie, but have you been able to create enough offensively to your liking?
No, not even close to what we need to do. We can't get through the neutral zone. We're making too many, there's too many turnovers. They got great sticks. They clog up the middle. They give you the outside. We got to have better dumps. Smith's handled the puck more than their D has most of the night. So we got to do a better job just in those areas, in the neutral zone, getting the puck, advancing the puck north, getting the puck behind their D, and then getting to work. We got to shoot the puck. That's the biggest thing. Shoot to the forecheck. Every shot we have, we got to put the puck to the net. We got to get to the net.
Get your defensemen involved, James, if you can. Once you do all the things you just made mention of, in order to get your offense going, is get those D in there, and whether they touch the puck or not, make them, give the Coyotes something to think about.
Well, absolutely. The biggest thing is they got to get up the ice. They got to get up the ice, support the rush, support the attack, back everyone off, and then from there we can get to work. But the biggest thing is we got to get the puck to the net. But you're absolutely right. Our D have to be active and got to be part of the offense here.
I would imagine that Patrick Kane's name might have come up with your team before the game tonight. We all know he's watching. Anything you'd like to say to him?
Yeah, just let him know that we're all thinking of him. The whole team's thinking about him, and we're going to pull out something here for him.
All right, I know he'd like it as much as anybody. Good luck here in the third. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, so 20 minutes remaining for the league's leading offense to try to finish up what has been a real solid road trip.
And this third period of Blackhawk hockey is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Well, they battle on the boards, and Taves rolled it out. Here comes Hossa. Marian Hossa chipped it in deep, sharp against Ekman Larson. And the Coyotes able to waltz right back out. McCulloch sending it in. Rosendahl. Phoenix changing quickly. Trying to catch him in a change. Taves. But they got off the bench in short order. Well, the Hawks will change him up as well. Taves pointing back to Seabrook to try to keep possession of the puck, but sort of weren't on the same page, and now it winds up in behind Crawford. Seabrook's long pass here, picked up side into the zone. Brandon Saad in on Yandel. His pass attempt to flex Shaw, threw it in front. Smith picked it off, it's loose. And the Yotes clear it to the boards. Held in Keith. Centered it. It was a little bit behind Shaw, and then Moss got it ahead. Chipchura dumped it deep. Andrew Shaw to Brian Bickle. Bounced it across for Saad. He got checked right away, and the Coyotes clear it.
Bickle taking a run at Shane Doan there, and Doan saw him coming there, Pat, and avoided the big hit.
Now Doan gets the puck, and got away from two checks. Doan rolled it towards Ribeiro. Knocked loose to Smith. Ben Smith to Nick Chalmerson. That pass missed. Icing will be the result.
Well, looking for a Valentine's Day gift? No response, partner? Okay, 100 lucky Blackhawk fans have a chance to win a replica Chicago Blackhawks championship pendant. Compliments of Dunkin' Donuts, of course. To enter, visit Chicago Blackhawks Facebook page or the Comcast Sportsnet Facebook page through February the 10th. I was out shopping earlier because I got to leave tomorrow, partner, so I'm well ahead of the game.
Well, you need to be.
That's a veteran
I got
move.
weeks to figure stuff out.
That's a veteran.
All right, now Stone dumped it. Brookbank chased it. And Marcus Kruger into the Phoenix zone. This pass deflecting. Ekman Larson. Tipped it to center. Leddy steps quickly back in. That's a run off along the boards by Kennedy. Bodker got it out. Korpikoski going to give problems to Brookbank. He was able to clear it to center. And Keith Put it on the stick of Hossa. Then Sharp into the zone with a long shot. That was a knuckler. The puck was on edge when he shot it. Good save by Smith. Taves in behind. Now Taves to Sharp, looking for Hossa down low. Hossa to Sharp, back to the Haas. Hossa's long shot. Tip the redirect from Taves, who's had 2 tips tonight, but somehow barely failed to go in. McCulloch cleared it to center. Now Seabrook cleared it ahead to Sharp. And that rush didn't get underway very well, and the Coyotes the other way. Here's Verbata. Snapped it off, soaked up by Crawford.
Well, you mentioned Jonathan Taves, Pat, and couple of opportunities with going to the front of the net. That's where you need to continue to get to. And that last shift, Brent Seabrook was down below the goal line a couple of times. So feeding off of the conversation that we had with Jamie Compon, Blackhawks assistant coach, right before the third period started, is that that's another way to generate some offense, is make sure you get your defensemen in, and whether they touch the puck or not, that should not be icing. Yandel just dummied that
was
play
right there, yeah. And now the linesman hearing it from the Hawks bench, Derek Nansen. It's amazing, though, I marvel at what you see in the game, being a great star for many years and a former NHL coach. But you talked about the Coyotes' good sticks halfway through the game, and what's one of the first things that Jamie Compon brought up? We're having a hard time getting through the neutral zone because their sticks are so good.
You just get a sense of the way the game is going, and you gotta simplify. You gotta chip and chase and get better support.
Another one. Couldn't get that through. Verbata's stick shattered on the block. Now here's Bickle with a shot. Good save by Mike Smith, who's beaten Bickle a couple of times tonight.
I like Brian Bickle's game a lot here tonight, Pat. He's been effective in the offensive zone. He's taken a run at a couple of guys throughout this game. Nice pass here from Andrew Shaw. Just a great play along the boards, getting that pass past David Schlemko. I think my mom and dad used to shop there when I was at Niles, actually. Memco. Schlemko, same thing, but every time I hear his name, I always think about Memco over at Washington and Ballard Street at Niles, right by Tommy Tucker's and Tasty Pub back in the day. I think Blackhawk team president, CEO John McDonough remembers that area of our great city.
And your intense remembrance of that store makes me think that you caused the cleanup in aisle 4.
Actually, that's where I got my first pair of skates, partner.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, first pair of skates.
Oh, nice.
But Bickle's had a strong game. I like the way that he's played, Pat. I really do. He's been noticeable and gaining some confidence, and that's all part of the process for Big Pick.
He's been credited with 3 hits, which has got to be a huge part of his game. He's gotten the puck to the net 4 times. So, yeah, really, you talked about it a little bit the other night in Anaheim, so a couple of games in a row here where things starting to come a little bit better for Big 29. Here's Klinkhammer, dropping it back. Stone pushed it into the corner. Ben Smith looks for Marcus Kruger. Hawks needing a change here. Bollig was pointing to chip it in, so he'll do that and get a fresh 5.
Hawks only have 4 people out here right now, Pat.
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit more room for the Coyotes. Bodker dropped it back. McCulloch, the 5th man, has gotten on. Regan wasn't sure he was up. He's now back involved in the play, and the Hawks get it out of there. Now Keith and Seabrook will get the line. Regan to the net. The shot went up off the glass, though. Peter Regan is grabbed by Michael Stone. Dug out by Versteeg. He couldn't get it all the way out in front. Vermette's clearing attempt held in by Seabrook. To Versteeg. Chris Versteeg sends it across to Seabrook. That was flopping around on him. Now Regan. Had it taken away, and the Coyotes will try to maintain control while they change. Well, Stone finally just chipped it in. Moss. Put it in deep. Chip Chura there. Now David Moss had it jammed off his blade. Held in Ekman Larson with a long shot. Tip. Oh, the redirect. Missed the net by a couple of feet. Now it's Moss with a one-timer that didn't get to the goal. Hossa the other way. Marian Hossa looking at, oh, he wanted Taves, but it goes to Jomerson and a blocker save by Smith. Sharp was checked trying to get out in front. And Moss gets help from Chip Chura. Jonathan Taves back into the zone. That got gummed up. Between Taves and Hossa, in the first 5 games of this trip, Hossa had a point in every game. Taves, there's only one where he didn't have a point. Here's Shaw with a shot. That's smothered, and the Coyotes going to catch the Hawks, and a change, a breakaway for Ribeiro. Then he got cut off. He shot it, hoping for a redirect from Yandel. And Verbata in for Doan. He had it taken away, and then Doan got it back. Spins it in behind, and Brookbank clears it to Brandon Saad. Saad in against Yandel. Looks to the trailing Bickle, but he was checked. The puck got back in front. Shaw hit the side of the net. Andrew Shaw got a fortunate bounce, but his attempt just went outside the post, it looked like, and the Coyotes get it out.
And the Blackhawks defensive really being active now, taking some chances.
Kruger for Smith. It was bouncing, though, and the Schlemko clear goes all the way down, icing Phoenix.
Well, tonight after the game, stick around for Sportsnet Central presented by GMC. And the opening ceremonies tonight in Sochi. We'll have a recap and a one-on-one interview with Chris Collins. Don't miss Sportsnet Central tonight. Only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Oh, they're going to get those things started without you. You're supposed to be the MC.
Yeah. I do know a little Russian. That should come in handy at some point.
Start with Niet.
Yeah.
Here's Keith. He lost it. And look at Hossa pick that pass right out of midair. Hossa back into the Phoenix end. Taves to the corner. Back for Sharp. Got a man down, walks around him. Now he's going to center one. Oh, tipped away from Taves. In behind Sharp. Jump loose to Bodker. Now Schlemko has time to take a look. David Schlemko throws it into Chicago ice. Halfway through the third period now, and Mike Smith has stopped 26 shots in a row. Here's the Hawks turnover. And then a long shot, deflected wide. And Versteeg leaves for Keith.
Another good stick there in the middle of the ice by Keith Yandel. He's had a real strong game here tonight.
And as it usually happens here in the desert, a huge contingent of Blackhawks fans. Oh, and a penalty coming up as Chip Chura spun himself to the deck. So the Hawks are going to be shorthanded again, and they're down 2 midway in the third. Welcome back. We promised it earlier. We'll show you now. Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
What a good opportunity there. The pass from Brian Bickle to that man right there, Kris Versteeg in the box. I understand we had some technical difficulties in our tape room, so opportunity here for the Coyotes on the power play.
Both their goals have come with a man advantage. The first was scored after a bad penalty by Bollig in the first shift of the game. The second was scored with a two-man advantage. The second penalty result of a bad penalty for yapping by Michael Roosevelt. So the Hawks, who really rarely do this kind of thing, have hurt themselves with some poor penalties. Ekman Larsson to Yandel. Larsson. Yandel again. Looking for a lane. Taves and Hossa, they're going to be looking for a short-handed goal if any opportunity presents itself, but Roosevelt pounds this the length, and the Hawks will get a fresh 4. With 65 left on the Phoenix power play. Here's a Smith turnover to Keith, whose shot was blocked. And back come the Coyotes. Schlemko to Verbata, whose pass was picked out of the air by Hanzus. And now the Coyotes get back into the Hawk zone. It's picked off by Keith. Seabrook looks ahead to Ben Smith. He got checked but finds Saad. He was in there well ahead of the puck. So the offside whistle sounds.
I love the sense of urgency that the Hawks are playing with here in the third period, Pat. Brent Seabrook's had an outstanding third period. I mean, he's really jumped in. He was the one that made that pass up there to Ben Smith, trying to make it a 2-on-1, and she picked up Brandon Saad in offside. Would expect that to continue the rest of this game with the Blackhawk defenseman jumping in anytime. And yeah, you might give up an opportunity. You might give up a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-0. You got to get yourself back in the game. And the Hawks are really on top of their game. Their defensemen are right in the middle of a lot of things going good offensively in the offensive zone.
That rush got gummed up, and the Hawks cleared. That's going to finish the Chicago penalty. Both teams now at full strength. Nicholas Chalmerson fires it ahead for Versteeg. It missed him. And icing ruled against the visitors.
I don't think Chalmerson realized that the penalty had expired there, Pat. But never a bad play. Make sure you get the puck out of the zone, and Chalmerson did that. Back to 5-on-5 play.
In for the draw, assisted on the first Phoenix goal tonight. That extends a scoring streak for him to 9. A good poke check here, Crawford. And then Chalmerson got it to Hossa. Versteeg shot it in, looking to get a change completed. A long pass to Bodker. Mikkel Bodker with a shot. Oh, and a tiny piece by Crawford with his right side. Comes back to Hossa. Then Taves in there. Taves the shot. Smith with a good save, and that's a terrific chance for Taves. And Smith looking for his second shutout of the year in his 26th career shutout. Sharp wants to prevent it from happening. Taves gets help from Hossa here. Hossa spins it back for Brookbank, who did well to keep it. And then Halpern wrapped him up. Now the Coyotes, Jeff Halpern. He rolls it back. Yandel to Stone. He tried to bank it to the front of the net, but hit the back of the goal instead. And Bickle had it taken away on the boards. Halpern Got it toward the middle. Here's a pass and a shot. Was shot wide by Chip Chura. Coyotes trying to keep the play at the Chicago end of the ice for as long as they can. Now that group is exhausted. Finally, the Blackhawks get outside. Lost it as he got to the line. Stone cleared it back into Chicago ice. And now the clock becoming the enemy of the visitors, getting down to 5 minutes remaining. Here comes Regan into the zone for Versteeg. The shot. It never got to the net. And Crawford, there's going to be a penalty coming up on the Coyotes. They fight for it in behind. Phoenix gets it. The whistle sounds, and now a very important power play is going to be given to the visitors. Down by 2 late in the third.
Well, it's going to be a while till we have one of these again. Now time for our KFC fan cam.
Blackhawks fans who are numerous looking at a Chicago power play. Shane Doan, the culprit. And looking for an answer to Mike Smith. Keith comes out. There's Peter Regan who dropped it to Sharp. Then Keith. A long flip shot is blocked in front. McCulloch. Regan, who in a career of over 200 NHL games has scored 21 goals, has a couple of times tonight gotten some power play time for Joel Quenneville. In his first game as a Blackhawk, now he goes for a change. As Keith starts away, Leddy gets the line, left it for Sharp. Then Keith put it in front. Leddy had it jump loose, and the Coyotes get it out.
I wonder if Coach Q will get real aggressive here, Pat. Maybe the last 35, 40 seconds of this power play if nothing's going on. Might be a little early. Pull Crawford to get the extra guy out there.
Versteeg a ring around. Leddy in for Hossa. Hawks don't have anybody near the front of the net yet. Here's Seabrook. Now Versteeg gets into the neighborhood. Seabrook's long shot is blocked. Leddy put it in behind. Stone is taken away by Seabrook. Leddy. Pass never connected with Hossa. And Korpikoski got rid of it. One last rush on the Hawks power play. Pass was at the feet of Saad, however. Launcher changing, so the Yotes play keep away. And that finishes the Phoenix penalty. Hawks really not much of a threat on that power play, and now they're under 3 minutes to go in regulation. Roosevelt into the zone. Looks for Bickle. Kruger got it to Smith, whose shot was blocked. And Ribeiro.
Sorry, Pat. Keep an eye on Crawford here.
He's leaning to the bench now, about halfway there, but the Coyotes get the puck, so he's got to stay home. And Verbata kicked it into Chicago ice. Was short of center when it happened, so it will be icing. And now you would expect Quenneville to maybe pull his goalie to the bench. That is going to happen, and with 2:16, a six-man attack for the face-off of the Phoenix end. And Dave Tippett, I think, is going to, yes, he will utilize his timeout. We'll take a moment to look at the ANA upcoming schedule. Nothing for the next couple of weeks. And the next time the Hawks get into action, we'll be in New York against the Rangers. So does that make this a 7-game road trip? I don't know, but that's Feb 27. Then the Penguins will be in the battle in Soldier Field to take on the Blackhawks, the outdoor finish of the Stadium Series. And the next time the Hawks will be in the UC is March 4 against the Colorado Avalanche. And look at that. 9 games remaining against divisional opponents. Now the Hawks have lost 10 games all year. 8 have come against divisional opponents. Hawks really need to get that straightened out because that's who you're going to see the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. But now it's a power play, 6 against 4 with the goal to our right empty. The draw kicked back by Taves. Osa put it to Taves in the corner. 4 men battling there. Well, the Oaks don't want that puck to move if they can avoid it. Finally, it squirts loose. Bravada got it out. Sharp has to hurry with Doan pursuing. Here's Keith. Ahead to Hossa. His pass finds Saad, who moves in with a drive. Good play by Smith. Brandon Saad had time to try to pick his spot there, and he snapped off a good wrister.
Pat, Mike Smith is so deep in his net when he makes this save. I mean, he's almost on the goal line. So either you got to shoot the puck right on the ice or you got to think about some ear or chin music. I mean, that's where you got to go. You can't hit that puck out around those large arms and pads of Mike Smith because he is so deep in his net. You got to give him a
timeout. Quentville here as the Hawks circle around Jamie Compound, who's got the dry erase board out.
I want to make people notice too, Pat. Usually we have our Xfinity Telestrator for our games on CSN, but ran out of crayons tonight, so we haven't been able to go to it. So but there you saw, as you mentioned, Coach Jamie Compound with the marker out there drawing up A, what do we do if we win it? And B, what do we do if we lose the draw?
6 attackers for Chicago against the 5 for Phoenix. Into the draw. Hacked away from Keith. It gets out. And a hand pass will bring on a whistle with 79 seconds remaining. So the Blackhawks have not been shut out this year or last year yet. But Mike Smith is 79 seconds away from accomplishing that. The draw. Saad's pass hit a skate. Vermette hoisting it off the glass. That's a hand pass. And another stoppage. So Taves and Vermette getting ready. With Saad way over on the other side of the ice, but the Hawks don't get the draw, so McCulloch can clear it. And now down to the final minute of the third period. Sharp will bounce it deep. McCulloch checked by Taves. Saad trying to pry it free. It squirts up the boards. Doan lost his stick for a moment. Now it's cleared in behind. Shaw got turned around by McCulloch. Taking Hossa center to tip. Oh, what a save by Smith on a sound redirect. Now Keith put it to Shaw. His shot is blocked. And the Coyotes able to clear with half a minute.
Pat, keep an eye on here. If the Blackhawks have to shoot this puck in, Mike Smith was looking to go get that puck and try to shoot it into the empty net.
Bouncing to Bickle instead to the corner. He rings it around Shaw. 15 left. Alpern squirts free and now in front of the net, we got a skirmish as a couple of bodies got tangled. Taves in the neighborhood, along with McCulloch. Two hard battlers trying to get position out in front of Mike Smith.
Yeah, the Coyotes have been really playing with 5 defensemen since the first period. Derek Morris left this game. We've not gotten word, but the battle in front of the net, that was the tail end of it there. And you see Bickle getting right in there. Shaw looking to try to get in there as well. But they had a fencing match going on. I mean, sticks flying. I think Taves grabbed the helmet. A little bit of a punch to the side of the head of Zbynek McCulloch.
Number 4, 2 minutes for high stick, 19.
Well, there's the battle right in front of Mike Smith. Sticks on both sides.
So the Blackhawks with 5.1 remaining are going to lose a game in regulation for the first time against the Pacific Division. This is going to put the Hawks at 14-1-6 against the Pacific. This is the final game against a Pacific Division foe. As we showed you a little bit earlier, the Hawks still have 9 games left against their own division, which has been the one that has given them the most difficulty, at least in terms of the few times they've lost this year. Coincidental penalties, and now it's 5 against 4 as the Hawks win a draw. Letty Brookbank with a long shot, tip, and a save. Regan got a nice tip, but Mike Smith still stopped it, and the Hawks have been shut out for the first time in almost 2 full calendar years. So the 26th shutout for Mike Smith, his second of this season, and the last second he made a dandy stop.
Oh, face-off win there from Ben Smith. Nick Letty to Sheldon Brookbank in the redirect, and Hawks had some quality chances, but Mike Smith was a little better than the shooters here tonight.
The Hawks get shut out tonight for the first time in 2 years, but they still on the road trip take 8 points out of 12. Back in a moment.